When the Phillies and Cubs meet on the diamond, there's a certain charge in the air, something electric, almost intoxicating, that pulses through the crowd and down each chalk line. These two teams have a history that's as long and tangled as a summer night, with more than 2,300 games played between them, each encounter carrying the promise of something unforgettable. The Cubs hold a slight edge in the all-time series, but the Phillies are always ready to close the gap, and when they lock eyes across the field, you can feel the tension simmering, ready to boil over with every pitch and swing. Think back to some of their wildest encounters, like that sultry May afternoon in 1979 at Wrigley Field, when the Phillies and Cubs put on a show that left 45 runs scored, 50 hits, 11 home runs, the kind of numbers that make your pulse race and your imagination run wild. The wind was whipping through the ivy, carrying the ball and every cheer to new heights, as if the ballpark itself was caught up in the feverish embrace of the moment. Dave Kingman was launching balls into the stratosphere for the Cubs, while Mike Schmidt and the Phillies answered back with their own fireworks, the lead changing hands again and again in a relentless, sweaty dance that finally ended 23-22 in the Phillies' favor after 10 innings. It was a game so wild, so unrestrained, that it's still whispered about in late-night conversations, the kind that linger long after the lights go out. But it's not just the numbers that make this rivalry sizzle, it's the way these teams play each other, the way they circle, probe, and push, always looking for that opening, that moment to strike. The Cubs and Phillies have never met in the postseason, but every regular season clash feels like it could be a playoff, the stakes heightened, every at-bat dripping with anticipation. Even when the Cubs went on their longest winning streak against the Phillies 11 straight back in 1929, it was a streak born of momentum, of one team getting hot and refusing to cool off, the other left chasing, desperate to turn the tide. And then there are the scandals, the secrets, the games where something just feels a little off, like that infamous 1920 matchup, shrouded in rumors and intrigue, where whispers of fixed games and grand jury investigations swirled through the stands. The drama off the field only added to the allure, making every pitch feel a little more dangerous, every glance between players a little more loaded. Fast forward to today, and the chemistry is still there. The Cubs might be on a losing streak against the Phillies, but every game is a chance to break free, to flip the script and reclaim dominance. The Phillies, for their part, seem to relish the chase, the thrill of coming from behind, of making the Cubs sweat just a little more under the lights. When these teams meet, you can't help but feel drawn in, seduced by the promise of another classic, maybe another.